All right, after talking it over, we've decided to abandon the X post tool because X just needs to be a journal. The only authentic way to post on X is to actually post on X yourself, and you have to actually put the time in because you can't. It's like generating a tool and trying to compress development sessions and putting it on X. That's not what X is. X needs to be just, and you just, I think you just have to put in the time that you have and do the best you can with X while you're building something. So X just becomes a, human input development journal of tweets that we make the best we can with the time that we have right now. The project, the build in public project, the one project that we're going to put all of our time into that shows the most potential, based on the pain points that people are having and all the problems that people are facing, is the YouTube script generator. Creating the workflow, the analysis, the tools for getting these development sessions into, Claude at the end with a bunch of skills and some research capabilities, some really well-defined responsibilities that you give to Claude Opus, and then Claude Opus comes back with a script that follows the narrative and the flow of the development session. So, an hour to an hour and a half of development sessions over a week where you're researching some, like the Kraken, some undersea creature, something that's interesting, like an animal. Right now, our comfort zone, we both like, animals. We're into like bike riding and hiking outside. I do some wildlife photography, like when I had a little bit of time. Now I'm focusing more on this, but we like animals and nature. So the pivot that I'm making is to the long form animal stuff is the script generator getting basically my research sessions. And like when people develop scripts, like people in Hollywood, when they develop scripts, they sit and they brainstorm and they come up with ideas and they go from session to session, and each session builds into the next session, and all of the input gets compounded. Well, right now we don't have a team of researchers and script writers and everything else, but we do have the AI. Grok can go out and get information on X, the research, the analysis, the summaries. So every development session can be, a product of the previous development session. That's how an episode of a YouTube video, that's how it flows. And that is how it flows. And that's how actual script development works. So but that does require a little bit more effort, a little bit more human effort. And you actually have to do the work. And if you're looking for the shortcut of like the source scripts, this isn't it. This isn't the putting in a prompt, getting a source script, posting it, and getting 20 million views. That was cool. And honestly, that was really, really cool. and it was great to get, millions of views and all these subscribers. But that's not sustainable. And I'm amazed at how many people I see on X that quit their jobs and are, hurting right now and don't know what to do. And it seems kind of random. It seems like the people that are getting reinstated, the people that are getting just ignored by the team YouTube, it seems like YouTube is trying to deal with this the best that they can to deal with. I mean, Sora really flooded the market with the YouTube videos over a very short amount of time. And it was really interesting for people to see that massive amount of Sora videos, the low effort, how many of them went out there, and how YouTube and Google, how they dealt with it. And I think they did the best that they can in the time that they had to deal with it, because it happened, not all at once, but it happened pretty quickly. So generating this one of the things that I'm a little concerned about trying to work my way out of a day job into this is getting demonetized, which has happened right now. And people are literally talking about losing their houses. And these are real problems that real people are having. So people losing their houses and their families falling apart because YouTube demonetized them. You don't want to be in that situation. So some of the ways that you can protect yourself are having the development sessions and your workflow in a way that you can actually show YouTube how you build your content if they try to demonetize you. That's a built-in protection right there. And this workflow makes it very easy to organize your work in a way that you can present an appeal. And one of the things that I'm going to build into this is every development session is going to come with, an AI assisted, where the AI helps you to build a potential, response to to any kind of demonetization where you have to build an appeal. So you'll have all the components there to form an appeal if you need one to show all of your work and how much effort you're putting into it. So we are going to entirely focus on the CuBiX Meow website, the development sessions, and building this development process for creating quality long-form 10-minute script. And then some animations and some images that go with the content. Right now, based on the time we have, it's probably going to be a few really high-quality animations from like Kling or something, based on the content at the beginning. Like maybe a 30 seconds or a minute of actual video. And then maybe 10 to 15 seconds of a high quality nano banana image generated from that 15 seconds of whatever the script is talking about. And being able to create a more natural flowing narrative that AI doesn't generate from a prompt is very important. It's one of the things that's going to separate, these generated scripts from a lot of the AI slop or really low effort AI long form stuff that people are putting out there, which is they're having a surprising amount of success with the low effort stuff. Creating a repeatable workflow that produces high quality content on a weekly basis from development sessions and research sessions would be incredibly valuable. It's something a lot of people would want to learn how to do also. So basically the tool that gets built is the script generator. And it's something that we're able to focus all of our time on. The X-Post generator, that's out. That's not a thing. That turned out to be something that, and I looked at it and my development partner, she was basically like, it's either one or the other. You either automate it or you actually put, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So X is just going to be natural posts, doing the best you can with the time you have. The long form script generator, we're going to go through another 4 or 5 days of development sessions, finish building it. And then the next episode, the next set of development sessions is going to be proving it with like some undersea creature episode. And we're going to call it the CuBiX Meow Journey of Discovery is going to be the name of this series. The CuBiX Meow Journey of Discovery. Discovering some interesting animal, going through a journey, discovering it in like a 10-minute script. And that's what this tool is going to be producing. And what is going to take our effort and output something human-built, very high quality, very entertaining, something that we can monetize. And we're going to keep doing these development sessions and building, out there so people can see the workflow. And hopefully, one of the the real exciting things is getting input from people when it gets noticed. This is the first few weeks. I barely started, focusing on this on X and haven't promoted the website at all. So over the next month, we're actually going to start putting it out there and interacting with people and really engaging with people on X and seeing what happens. So this is really exciting. So CuBiX Meow Journey of Discovery, the episodes, the show on YouTube is what we're going to build with these tools and this workflow that we're going to build in public. Proving it and turning it into something valuable, something that other people will be interested in. Okay, so now we've determined the project that we're going to focus on and are going to focus on completely. And the X page and CuBiXmeow.com are just a way to, present and document that project in a way that it will be, extremely useful later. And we'll give people some insight into, successes and failures and the things learned along the way. And the script generator now is a defined project. And you start with about a week's development to produce a high quality, exciting script. And right now, if you put some research material and some well done prompts into Claude Opus, you get, pretty good results. And you can get, some low effort content that you can put out there, but that's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is, put in some human effort through a week of actually doing our own exploration and our own journey of discovery. And that's what we're calling the series, the CuBiX Meow's Journey of Discovery. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick an interesting animal. And this can align with trends, with animals that are interesting and trending and sought after on YouTube. And we're going to do some initial research. And we're going to have a development session with the initial research that we have. Just like as if we were developing a script, if we were in a brainstorming session in Hollywood, developing a script, throwing around ideas. And then after we have that first development session, we're going to put the transcript through, and this is what we need to really refine over the next week, because the next episode is going to be the development sessions that prove it. Right now, we're going to build it in the next week. And that first development session needs to be the beginning of our journey of discovering this animal and everything that there is exciting about it that we can present to people. And it's very important that this journey that we go through is what defines and shapes the episode. So each one of these development sessions is going to be part of the journey of the episode of discovering this animal and all the interesting things about it. So the first episode, the first development session needs to produce information from Claude and Grok and Gemini, if we can make it useful. And I think we can use Grok to get information on X, anything relevant about the animal that might be interesting that people are discussing. Grok to do a little bit more deeper research, and Gemini also has some of those research capabilities. Going out there and find, Google has access to a lot of interesting information. So utilizing those three LLMs and GPT seems to GPT has been really good to us for helping us to create prompts and getting the most out of those three LLMs. GPT seems to understand how to get the prompting and how to help with the prompting and getting the most out of those AIs. And it doesn't, if you run a prompt that GPT gives you for Claude into GPT, it doesn't come back real great. But if you put it into Claude Opus, it comes back unbelievable. So we're learning and testing the strengths and the weaknesses of all the different LLMs that we're using, and they when you put them together properly, they are unbelievably effective. So the first development session is going to come back with information that we feed into these three LLMs, and then they come back with a bunch of information. We combine that information into a notebook LM, summary and analysis, and that gives us sort of an overview of the information that's been returned. And it kind of preps us for the next development session. We have our discussions and then another development session. And you put the next development session through the exact same process. And it compounds over, 10 to 15 development sessions, an hour and a half, a few hours of discussions, where every 15, 20 minutes, and it could be up to like 4 hours of development sessions over that week. And every 15 minutes to half an hour, there's this really big influx of information coming back from the LLMs that kind of shapes the direction of the next development session. And this journey that the development sessions go through, it's very important to understand that when Claude Opus generates the final script from these development sessions, it's very important that it follows the vibe and the emotions and the emotional intention and the excitement and the journey that these development sessions go through are what shapes the script. And Claude does some research at the end, brings it all together, and we're going to probably end up with some Claude skills that determine how the output of the scripts are going to be, and we'll figure that out over the next week. Where it creates an incredibly high quality script. And then we'll create, 30 seconds to a minute of high quality video from like Kling or Veo or something for the first minute to get people really into it. And then every 10 to 15 seconds, we'll create a really high quality prompt for Nano Banana. When Nano Banana creates a really high quality image based on that 10 to 15 seconds of whatever's going on in the script at that time. And this is going to be more like, a Ghost Hunters or something where they're exploring and you don't know if there's ghosts or not. There might be, they don't know. You don't know if these things about these animals are true. Does this animal really do this? Does it really like summon witchcraft in the depths of the ocean and have some kind of spirits? I don't know. Probably not, but it might. But we're going to figure out if it does. Or does it, have this unbelievably unique eating habit where it does this, and that? Well, we're going to find out if it does. And that journey through that exploration of our development sessions really fuels the episode. And if we do this right, and we're going to do everything in our abilities, and we're going to try to do our best to do it right in the first try. It may or may not work in the first episode, but I think we're going to get close. Based on the success of the output of the first episode from the first round of development sessions, with literally the first draft of this workflow and process, how great it was, I think we'll be able to get something reasonably high quality and very interesting to post on YouTube for the first episode of CuBiX Meow's Journey of Discovery. And here's the really important part. Here's the really exciting part. We have, and it's basically, it's the receipts. We have all of the proof that we're putting in all of this effort in creating human-generated content, because everything the AI generates is going to be from the development sessions. We're not using AI to generate content to create slop. We're using it to refine the content that we're creating through our development sessions. And that's going to do something to present when we become successful. And when we have, monetized, bringing in money from monetized YouTube channels and members wanting to see, really in-depth behind the scenes stuff of getting access to prompts and stuff that we've done to actually create this success, they're going to want to know how we're protecting ourselves from demonetization and all these other dangers that are being faced by the people in these environments, like with the demonetization of YouTube. And building in a process where we have the proof of all the effort that we're putting in, the building in public is part of our protection. It's not just to help people, and that's one of the big payoffs. Getting into community, helping people, getting, good karma and positive interactions with a lot of people that are doing really interesting stuff also. That's, the biggest benefit, but also protecting yourself from demonetization and getting caught up in that like AI purge. And we can write into this system, the CuBiX Meow Journey of Discovery Studio, or whatever we end up calling this script generator. CuBiX Meow Journey of Discovery Studio, or something something that we end up deciding on. That it can have built in, a really extensive documentation process, showing our work, protecting ourselves, showing that it is, in fact, a lot of human effort going into the production of these high-quality long-form videos. So we need to figure out how to maximize every interaction, from the transcripts to the different AIs, back to the next development session, compounding over, 10, 15 development sessions, maximizing the use of our time, putting just honest, when we have time, our thoughts and posts on YouTube. And I'm also going to copy some quotes from the development sessions, from the transcripts of the development sessions to put on X. And this should be very interesting to people that are dealing with these problems. And I really do think we have a workflow and a system that can produce incredibly high quality, long form content that will be interesting to people, that will be very unique because it will be a result of our own journey of discovery as we're exploring these animals. And the new information in the development sessions is what fuels the development sessions, is what fuels the end result and the final episode. And we could, in a very real way, produce 4 very high quality, very unique episodes a month with a week of development sessions while working a day job. And on the weekends, doing all, the video editing and Nano Banana stuff and editing it together. And that's a very, very achievable goal. And also documenting publicly how we're doing it and protecting ourselves from demonetization and these, the things going on right now, the instability in the YouTube environment and stuff with the AI stuff. So this development session is locking in the project. This is the project. The CuBiX and Meow Journey of Discovery, Studio, the script creator. This is the project. This is what we're doing. And building it in public has, a few different reasons and a few different purposes. And this is what we've decided on. And building it this week, proving it next week or over the next few weeks. That's the goal. That's the project. That's the schedule.